You walk into a room where everyone is talking over each other, gesturing wildly, checking their phones between sentences. The energy is electric, chaotic, almost frantic. Then someone enters who moves differently. They speak slowly. They pause before responding. They seem completely unbothered by the noise around them. And suddenly, everyone notices. That kind of calm doesn't just stand out, it disrupts things. There's something unsettling about genuine calm in a world that runs on urgency. When someone refuses to match the pace of collective anxiety, it creates tension, not the bad kind, the kind that makes people stop and wonder what they're missing. Most of us think calm is about meditation apps and breathing exercises, but real calm, the kind that actually changes how you move through the world, operates on a completely different level. It's not a technique you apply when things get stressful. It's a way of being that makes stress irrelevant. Here's what most people miss about calm. They think it's the absence of feeling. They imagine it as some Zen-like state where nothing bothers you. But that's not calm. That's numbness. Real calm is feeling everything and remaining unshaken. It's being aware of the chaos without being consumed by it. Think about the last time you encountered someone who seemed genuinely unbothered. Not checked out or indifferent, but present and peaceful. There was probably something slightly unnerving about them. In a culture that mistakes busyness for importance and anxiety for care, someone who operates from genuine calm feels almost foreign. The nervous energy that most people carry has become so normalized that its absence feels wrong. When you're not rushing, not reacting, not immediately responding to every stimulus, people don't know how to read you. And that uncertainty creates a kind of power. But here's where it gets interesting. The calm that makes people nervous isn't performed. It's not a strategy or a persona you put on. It emerges from something much deeper. It comes from understanding how human systems actually work. Your nervous system is designed to scan for threats constantly. It's looking for danger in facial expressions, voice tones, energy levels, social dynamics. When everyone around you is activated, your system wants to activate too. It's scanning for the source of the collective alarm. Someone who remains genuinely calm in activated environments sends a clear signal. Their nervous system is saying there's no real threat here. And that's either deeply comforting or deeply unsettling, depending on how attached people are to their activation. Most people live in a constant state of low-grade activation. Not full panic, but always slightly on edge, always ready for the next thing, always preparing for impact. When you encounter someone who's genuinely not doing that, it highlights the exhaustion of your own pattern. The calm that disrupts people isn't about being slow or spacey, it's about being completely present without being reactive. It's responding from choice rather than impulse. It's having access to your full range of responses instead of just the automatic ones. This kind of calm develops through understanding three key principles. First, you recognize that most urgency is artificial. The vast majority of things that feel urgent aren't actually urgent, they're just loud. Second, you learn to distinguish between your immediate emotional reaction and your actual response. There's always a gap between what happens and how you respond to it. Most people collapse that gap completely. Calm people live in that space. Third, you stop trying to control outcomes and focus on controlling your participation. You can't control what happens around you, but you can control how present and intentional you are in your response to it. When you operate from these principles consistently, something shifts in how you move through the world. You stop rushing toward outcomes. You stop reacting to other people's energy. You stop needing external validation for your choices. And that's when people start getting nervous. If this content resonates with you, consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. It helps support our work and ensures you don't miss future explorations into what it means to be genuinely human. The nervousness that genuine calm creates in others isn't really about you. It's about what your presence reflects back to them. When someone is consistently peaceful, without being passive, it raises uncomfortable questions. Why am I always rushing? Why do I react so quickly? What am I afraid will happen if I slow down? Your calm becomes a mirror for their activation, and most people don't want to see how activated they really are. There's a story about a CEO who was known for speaking incredibly slowly in high-pressure meetings. While everyone else was rapid-firing solutions and talking over each other, he would pause for what felt like forever before responding. His team initially found it infuriating. They thought he wasn't engaged or didn't understand the urgency. But what they discovered was that his slow responses were actually more accurate. He wasn't stalling, he was processing. While everyone else was reacting to the surface problem, he was seeing the deeper patterns. His calm wasn't indifference, it was precision. That's what real calm looks like, It's not about being slow for the sake of being slow. It's about having the internal spaciousness to respond appropriately rather than reactively. This touches on something fundamental about how humans function in groups. We're wired to sync up energetically. When one person is anxious, others tend to become anxious. When one person is angry, others feel the activation. It's unconscious and immediate. Someone who doesn't sync up with collective activation breaks the pattern. They're still connected and present, but they're not swept along by the group energy, and that breaks people's expectations about how human connection works. Most people equate matching energy with caring. If you're calm during their crisis, they might interpret that as not caring about their crisis. But there's a difference between matching someone's energy and holding space for it. Holding space means being present with someone's experience without being consumed by it. It means offering stability instead of amplification. Sometimes the most caring thing you can do is refuse to join someone's panic. The calm that makes people nervous operates from this distinction. It's not detached or cold. It's deeply present but not reactive. It's engaged but not enmeshed. Here's what's particularly powerful about this approach. When you refuse to match chaotic energy, you create space for something different to emerge. Your calm becomes an invitation for others to find their calm too. But this only works if your calm is genuine. Performed calm, strategic calm, calm as manipulation, all of these create tension for different reasons. People can sense when calm is being used as a tool against them rather than offered as a gift. Genuine calm emerges from 3 stabilizing practices. First, you develop the ability to pause before responding. Not because you're trying to be mysterious or controlling, but because you recognize that your first impulse isn't always your wisest impulse. Second, you practice staying connected to your own center while engaging with others. You notice when you're getting pulled into someone else's emotional state, and you gently return to your own ground. Third, you learn to trust that slowing down won't cause you to miss anything important. Most of what feels urgent today won't matter next week. Most of what feels like an emergency is actually just intensity.
When you operate from this foundation consistently, you start to notice how much of human interaction is driven by unconscious activation. People aren't responding to what's actually happening. They're responding to their fear of what might happen, their memory of what happened before, their anxiety about not being enough or not doing enough. Your calm presence interrupts these patterns, not by confronting them directly, but by offering an alternative. You become living proof that it's possible to engage with life without being overwhelmed by it. This is part of learning how to master being human. Not the optimization version where you control every variable, but the wise version where you understand which variables actually matter. The people who get nervous around your calm are usually the people most trapped by their own activation. Your presence reminds them of something they've forgotten about themselves, the possibility of peace, the option of responding rather than reacting, the freedom that comes from not being enslaved by urgency. And that's threatening to the part of them that believes survival requires constant vigilance. But here's the beautiful paradox. The more comfortable you become with making people nervous through your calm, the less nervous energy you carry yourself. You stop trying to manage other people's reactions to your presence. You stop apologizing for not matching their chaos.
That's what it really looks like to master being human in everyday life. Operating from your authentic ground rather than from the collective anxiety field. The world doesn't need more reactive people. It doesn't need more urgency or more activation or more people running around trying to fix everything immediately. What it needs are people who can stay present and clear while everything else is spinning. Your calm isn't selfish, it's generous. It's offering something rare and necessary, permission for others to slow down too. Evidence that it's possible to care deeply without being constantly activated. If you want to explore these ideas further and connect with others who are working to master being human, join our community on School. The link is in the description below. It's a space for deeper reflection and practice around what it means to live from genuine presence rather than reactive patterns. The nervous energy that your calm creates in others will eventually settle. Some people will be attracted to what you're offering, others will continue to find it unsettling. Both responses are information, not instructions. Stay calm anyway. The world needs more people who understand the difference between caring and anxiety, between engagement and activation, between presence and performance.